During a tense family dinner, she texted me from across the table, "Your family is so low class." I didn't react. I just forwarded the text to her father. The look on his face was the last thing she saw before he made her apologize. My phone buzzed during dessert. I glanced down at the screen. Text from Sarah sitting directly across from me. My girlfriend of 18 months. I opened it. "Your family is so low class." I looked up. She was smiling at my aunt, nodding along to some story about her garden, playing the perfect girlfriend while insulting my family behind their backs. I took a screenshot of the text, set my phone face down on the table. Didn't respond. "I'm Jake. I'm 31. I work as a diesel mechanic, good job, union shop. Make solid money, not rich but comfortable. My family is working class, always has been. Dad drove trucks for 30 years before he retired. Mom worked in a factory. My 2 brothers are electricians. My sister is a nurse. We're loud, we drink beer, we tell the same stories every time we get together. We're not fancy, but we're solid people." Sarah is different. She's 29, works in pharmaceutical sales, makes more money than me. Grew up in a different world. Her dad, Richard, owns a medical supply company. Her mom does charity galas. They have a vacation house. They talk about wine pairings and investment portfolios. I knew we came from different backgrounds. Thought love was supposed to bridge that gap. I was wrong. This dinner was at my parents' house. My mom had been planning it for weeks. She wanted to host Sarah properly, make a good impression. Spent 2 days cooking, made all her best dishes. Pot roast, mashed potatoes, green beans, homemade rolls. Nothing fancy but everything made with care. The house was spotless. She'd even bought new placemats. Sarah had been off from the moment we arrived. Little comments under her breath. The house was smaller than she remembered. The furniture was dated. My dad's recliner had a tear in it. She kept checking her phone. When my mom brought out the food, family style in big serving bowls, Sarah's nose wrinkled for just a second. Like she was used to plated meals at restaurants. Dinner started fine. My family was trying hard, asking Sarah about her work, complimenting her dress. My mom kept offering her more food. Sarah was polite to their faces, smiled, laughed at my dad's jokes. But I could feel the tension coming off her, the barely concealed impatience. My Aunt Linda started telling a story about her garden, how she'd grown the biggest tomatoes this year. Was planning to enter them in the county fair. Simple story. The kind we tell at family dinners. Sarah's phone came out, she was typing. Then my phone buzzed. That text. "Your family is so low class." I stared at it, read it 3 times, took a screenshot. Then another text came through. "How much longer do we have to stay here?" Screenshot. Another buzz. "Can we leave soon? I'm dying here." Screenshot. Another one. "Your mom's cooking is so heavy, I feel sick." Screenshot. One more. "Next time we're hosting at a restaurant." I took screenshots of all of them. Didn't respond. Just ate my mom's pot roast and listened to my aunt finish her tomato story. Sarah kept glancing at me, waiting for a response. I ignored her. She looked confused, then annoyed. My phone was connected to my truck's Bluetooth. I'd gotten Richard's number 2 months ago, when we had dinner at their place. He'd given it to me, said if I ever needed anything to reach out. He'd been friendly that night. Seemed like a decent guy despite the money. I excused myself, said I needed to grab something from my truck. Walked outside, opened my phone, composed a new message to Richard. Attached all 5 screenshots. Wrote a simple message. "Richard, this is Jake. Sarah and I are at my parents' house for dinner. My mom spent 2 days cooking to welcome your daughter. This is what Sarah's been texting me from across the table. Thought you should know how she really feels about people who open their home to her." Sent it. Watched it deliver. Put my phone in my pocket and walked back inside. Sat down, finished my dinner. Sarah was watching me, asked where I'd gone. I told her I needed to grab something from the truck. She asked what. I said it didn't matter. She looked suspicious but let it drop. About 10 minutes passed. Then Sarah's phone rang. She glanced at the screen. Her face went white. She looked at me, then at her phone, then back at me. She stood up quickly, said she needed to take this. Walked into the kitchen. I could hear her voice through the doorway. Started quiet, then defensive, then panicked. The conversation lasted maybe 3 minutes. She came back into the dining room. Her face was red, eyes wet. She was shaking. She stood at the edge of the table. My whole family went quiet. Everyone looked at her. She stared at me. Her voice cracked when she spoke. "You sent my text to my dad?" I nodded. Took a bite of mashed potatoes. She asked why. I set down my fork. Told her I thought her father should know how his daughter treats people who welcome her into their home, who spend days preparing food for her, who try their best to make her feel included. My mom asked what was happening. Sarah's phone rang again. Richard. She looked at the screen like it might bite her. Answered it. Her hand was shaking so hard she almost dropped it. She didn't put it on speaker, held it to her ear. But Richard's voice was loud enough that I could hear some of it from where I sat. He told her to put me on the phone. She walked over and handed it to me. I said hello. Richard's voice was tight. Asked if I'd sent him screenshots. I confirmed I had. He asked if they were sent during dinner at my parents' house while my family was hosting his daughter. I said yes. There was a long pause. Then Richard said he was embarrassed. Deeply embarrassed. He apologized for his daughter's behavior, said there was no excuse for it. Asked if he could speak to my mother. I handed the phone to my mom. She looked confused. Said hello. Richard introduced himself, apologized for Sarah's behavior. My mom tried to be gracious, said it was fine. Richard said it wasn't fine, said he was 40 minutes away but he was getting in his car right now. He was coming over. My mom tried to tell him that wasn't necessary. He insisted it was, said he'd be there soon. Then he asked for Sarah again. My mom handed the phone back. Sarah took it with both hands. Richard's voice wasn't loud anymore, but I could tell from her face he wasn't being gentle. She nodded a few times, said okay. Said she understood, said she'd wait. He hung up. Sarah stood there holding her phone. The table was silent. My dad cleared his throat, asked if anyone wanted more rolls. My brother Mike laughed. Couldn't help himself. The tension broke slightly, but Sarah just stood there. She tried to apologize to me, started saying she didn't mean it. I held up my hand, told her she meant every word. She could save her apologies for her father and for my family, in that order. She sat back down, didn't eat, just stared at her plate. My family tried to resume conversation, but it was awkward. My Aunt Linda made a joke about her tomatoes being very high class. My mom shot her a look, but I saw her fighting a smile. 45 minutes later, the doorbell rang. My dad answered it. Richard stood there in business casual, like he'd just left the office. He shook my dad's hand, introduced himself properly, apologized for the intrusion. My dad invited him in. Richard walked into the dining room, looked at Sarah. His face was hard. He didn't yell. His voice was quiet but firm. Asked her if the texts were real. She nodded. Tears running down her face. He asked her if she understood what she'd done. She tried to explain she was uncomfortable. He cut her off. Said being uncomfortable didn't give her permission to insult people who were being kind to her. He turned to my mom. Apologized directly. Said he was sorry for his daughter's behavior and sorry my mom had to find out this way. My mom accepted the apology, told him it was okay. Water under the bridge. Richard looked at Sarah again, told her to apologize. To everyone. Right now. Sarah's voice was shaking. She turned to my mom first. Said she was sorry. That the dinner was lovely, and she had no right to say what she said. My mom nodded quietly. Sarah went around the table. My dad, my brothers, my sister, my Aunt Linda. By the time she finished, she was barely whispering. The whole room felt heavy with it. My family looked uncomfortable. This wasn't normal dinner conversation. My mom actually spoke up. Said Sarah didn't need to keep going. That they accepted the apology. Richard nodded, thanked my mom for her grace. Then he told Sarah it was time to leave. She looked at me, asked if we could talk. I said no. There was nothing to talk about. She'd shown me exactly what she thought of my family, of me. We were done. Richard put his hand on her shoulder, told her to get her things. She grabbed her purse with shaking hands. They walked to the door. Richard shook my dad's hand again, apologized one more time. Then they left. The door closed. My family sat in stunned silence. Then Mike started laughing, said that was the most intense dinner we'd ever had. My dad agreed. My mom just shook her head and started clearing plates. She squeezed my shoulder as she walked past. Didn't say anything, didn't need to. An hour later, my phone buzzed. Text from Richard. He said Sarah had a lot of growing up to do. He was disappointed in how she'd behaved. He understood completely if I didn't want to continue the relationship. But regardless, he wanted me to know he thought I'd handled it with class. He appreciated me bringing it to his attention. I thanked him, said I appreciated him coming over. He said it was the least he could do. Then he said my family seemed like good people, the kind of people he wished his daughter appreciated more. Maybe she'd spent too much time in certain circles, forgotten what mattered. Sarah started texting me that night, long messages. She was mortified, sorry beyond words. Her father had driven her home and lectured her the entire way. She wanted to make it right. Could we please talk? I didn't respond. Blocked her number. Then I got texts from unknown numbers. She was using friends' phones, same messages, more apologies, promises to change. I blocked those too. 3 days later, flowers showed up at my parents' house. From Sarah. Card said she was deeply sorry. My mom called to tell me, asked what I wanted her to do with them. I told her to enjoy them or give them away, whatever she wanted. They were my mom's flowers now, not mine. Sarah showed up at my work a week later. I was under a truck when one of my coworkers came over, said there was a woman asking for me. I rolled out. Saw Sarah standing by the bay door, looking out of place in her work clothes. I walked over, told her she needed to leave. She said she just wanted 5 minutes to explain, to apologize properly. I told her she'd apologized at my parents' house, in front of everyone. That was enough. We were done. She started crying. Said she'd made a mistake, that she was working on herself, that she'd do better. I told her she should do better, for herself, for the next person. But not for me. We were finished. She asked if there was anything she could do. I said yes, respect my decision and leave me alone. She stood there for another minute, then she left. 2 weeks after the dinner, Richard called me, asked if we could meet for coffee. I was surprised, but I agreed. We met at a place downtown. He thanked me again for handling things the way I did. Said most guys would have just let it slide. Let the resentment build. I'd been direct and honest. He respected that. He said Sarah had been asking about me, wanting to know if he'd talked to me. He'd told her it wasn't his place to get involved, that she'd damaged the relationship, and it was up to me whether there was anything left to salvage. He wanted to make it clear he wasn't there to plead her case. I appreciated that. Told him so. He asked about my work, my plans. We talked for an hour, just 2 guys having coffee. At the end, he said, regardless of what happened with Sarah, he hoped we could stay in touch. Said, I seemed like the kind of person who'd be good to know. I said the same. We've kept in touch, grab coffee every few months, talk about work, about life. It's strange, but it works. He's become something like a mentor, gives me advice when I ask, listens when I need to vent, never brings up Sarah unless I do. Sarah tried reaching out a few more times over the next couple months, through mutual friends, through her sister. Finally sent me one last email, said she understood I'd moved on, that she was sorry for how she'd acted, that she hoped someday I could forgive her. Not for her sake, for mine. So I wasn't carrying anger. I wrote back once, told her I wasn't angry, I was disappointed. There's a difference. I'd thought she was someone she wasn't. That was on both of us. I wished her well, but asked her to stop reaching out. She respected that. Haven't heard from her since. It's been 1.5 years now. I'm seeing someone new. Her name is Amy. She's a teacher. Grew up in a small town like me. Understands family dinners and loud conversations and stories that get told 100 times. First time I brought her to my parents' house, she helped my mom with dishes without being asked, laughed at my dad's terrible jokes, asked my Aunt Linda about her garden, and actually listened to the answer. At one point during that dinner, my mom pulled me aside, said she really liked Amy, that she was good people. I said I thought so too. My mom hugged me, said she was proud of how I'd handled things with Sarah, that standing up for family wasn't always easy, but it was always right. Last month, I ran into Sarah at a grocery store. First time I'd seen her since she showed up at my work. She was with someone. Guy in a suit, looked like her type. She saw me, stopped. I gave her a polite nod and kept walking. She didn't try to talk to me. I appreciated that. In the parking lot, my phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. I almost deleted it. Then I read it. Thank you for not making that awkward, and thank you for teaching me something important. I hope you're happy. I didn't respond, just deleted the message and drove home, where Amy was waiting, where my life was, where I belonged. Sometimes people show you who they really are in moments of comfort. when they think no one important is watching. Sarah showed me, not in a fight, not in a dramatic moment, in quiet texts sent from across a dinner table while my mom served pot roast. That was enough, more than enough. Some disrespect you can work through, some you can't. When someone insults your family while sitting at their table, while eating their food, while they're trying their best to welcome them, there's no coming back from that. Not for me. My family taught me that respect isn't optional. It's not something you give when it's convenient or when someone's watching. It's what you give because it's right. Sarah didn't understand that. Maybe she does now. Maybe she doesn't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. I'm with someone who gets it, someone who treats my family the way they deserve to be treated, with kindness, with respect, with genuine warmth. That's what matters. That's what I refuse to settle for less than. The screenshots are still on my phone. I've never deleted them. Not because I'm holding a grudge, because they remind me of something important. They remind me that I have standards, that I stood up for the people who matter, that I didn't let someone's money or looks or status make me accept disrespect. That's not revenge. That's just self-respect. And sometimes that's the best revenge there is.